Hi, it's Luke from Performance Auto Electrical for Adelaide RV to show you how to use your 5 kilowatt diesel heater in your van. Very easy to use your diesel heater. Most common is locate where the screen is. So depending on the install, it can be by the side of your bed, left hand or right hand of your bed under your cupboard, or commonly it can be next to a fridge on the side or on the kitchen panel. So you need to just locate the screen. So this particular install is under the cupboard door. That's the screen. Now at the moment it's not lit up or anything like that. Why? Is because all the installs that we do of our diesel heaters, we put a kill switch on the system. So the kill switch is designed to turn it off when it's not in use. So if it's months on end you're not using the heater, turn it off. Or it's in storage or something like that, you turn it off. So there's no power to the system at all while it's in storage, because otherwise the screen will use power sitting there all the time. So this way, while your van's in storage, you turn the switch off. You can turn it off after you use it every time as well if you want, but it's mainly more if it's going to sit or weeks on end not use the heater, turn the kill switch off, so then there is no power running through the system. So with this one, the kill switch is on the side of the bed, so the screen is dormant, not lit up, there's no power to the system. So I'll turn the kill switch on and the screen will come on. So as you can see now, I've turned the kill switch on, the system is all powered up. So to turn it on, it's simply just to use this on the right hand side of the screen, that's your power button. Press it, the unit is now on. It's as simple as that to turn it on and off. So for your temperature, you've got your up and down arrow keys on the screen. That's all you need to know. So being flat out, turn it all the way up. So now it's flat out, which it's set to 10 on the screen. So 10 being flat out, being the hottest it will get. When it's turned flat out on the heat, then the fan will be flat out as well. So if you have it at a low heat, the fan will be at a lower speed, and in the middle, etc. So depending on how hot you have it is then how corresponding the fan speed goes. So we've turned it on, we've turned it flat out. Now the best thing to do, and we recommend, is when you turn it on and make sure it is flat out. Have it flat out and running for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes to get the van getting it very warm quickly. Once the heat has come up and you're quite happy with the heat, is then drop it down to a lower speed, a lower heat. And then you can just let it tick away for hours on end, however long you want. But also what we recommend is whether or not it's been 10 minutes or it's been, sort of 4 hours, 3 hours, it doesn't matter, at a lower speed, is then turn it back up flat out to the flat out speed and let it run for at least 5 minutes on the high speed before you turn it off, because running it at a lower speed, the unit will carbon up. So what you do by running it back up before you switch it off for 5 minutes at the hot, it burns that carbon off that it has carbon up on the time, which then means that the service life of the heater, you won't have to service it as often, because if you always run it at a lower speed all the time and don't run it can carbon the unit up, which then means we got to service the unit, pull it apart and service, which will happen over time anyway. But if you put it out the higher speed and burn it off, it means that your intervals of servicing and looking after that heater will be very minimal if you do so. So now it's turned on. It takes a couple of minutes to go through its stages. It's working out what the temperatures are, what it needs to do. The fan is running. The pump is turned on now. The actual diesel pump is turned on. The glow plug will kick in, ignite the fuel, and then it will start. Once it starts igniting and it is getting hot, the bars on the screen will start coming up from nothing all the way up to flat out, being up the top bar here, which will happen shortly, being red hot. And it's as simple as that. So like I said, we recommend that you run it to start off with flat out, and then when you switch it off, make sure it is flat out for at least 5 minutes when you switch it off, to shorten the intervals of your servicing and get a better life out of the unit. So with the 5 kilowatt system, so all you need to use is the buttons on the right hand side, your on and off, your up and down. The buttons on the right hand side are to change the fuel pump ratios and change all that type of settings. We set it up when we install them, so there is no need to actually touch them at all, because it's all set up. As soon as we install it, it's set up, and it will always keep that memory how we've set it. So there is no need to touch the ones on that side at all. If there is a problem with the unit, so it will come up with error codes on the screen. It will come up with like a triangle, red triangle, and it will have generally an error code next to it, depending on what the problem is for them, what the error code is. The most common one that we actually always see is it comes up with with E1, which is generally diesel problem. Now we do have it quite a bit. The diesel itself has run out. If there is no power in the system, so the screen, you've turned the kill switch on and the screen is still not lit up, every installation we do has a fuse at the battery. So there's an inline fuse, which is a 20 amp fuse, which is for the heater, which is separate all by itself, which is always by the positive of the battery in your van. So if you've got no power, kill switch on, screen still not lighting up, always check that fuse at your battery. Check that, because that is, it could have blown, or it can have dust or grime in it for being off-road or water crossings or something like that. Could have damaged the fuse holder itself. So that is a very common one. We'll show where it's located and how that is. So with this van, the diesel heater tank is located on the front of the van. It has a 10 litre tank on this one. Sometimes we do a 5 litre tank on the install, depending on where we can fit it on the van. Most common is the 10 litre one, which is a standard one. It is covered in checker plate to protect the tank as well. Like I said, the most common one is actually running out of diesel. So it's very simple, obviously, is if your system's not working, take the cap off, have a look, and make sure there is diesel in the tank, because that is very common. People get that code coming up, they say the system isn't working. Have you checked your diesel? Nah, there was plenty in there last time I checked it, but you know, something could have happened and it hasn't, which is very common to do. So just go back to basics and actually check the tank and make sure there is diesel in it. A line hasn't maybe come off and you've lost it all, something like that. So yeah, always check your diesel and make sure that there is plenty of diesel in it. With the diesel, with the 5 kilowatt system, it uses roughly about 3 litres in 24 hours. So it uses very minimal diesel anyway. If you ran it flat out for 24 hours, you use around 3 litres. Also, if you're going away just for a weekend and it's an overnight or a day, sort of, you don't really need to fill it up and put 10 litres in. Just put a few litres in just to get you by for that weekend. There's no point putting 10 litres and filling up to the brim if you're going away overnight or 2 nights, because you're not going to use anywhere near that. And it just keeps the diesel fresh all the time. So when you do go away, just put diesel in it according to how long you're going away for, is what we recommend. Okay, so the next thing to check, like I said, if there is no power, you've checked the kill switch on, the screen won't light up, is always check your fuse. So when we do the install, we always put an inline fuse, and it's always as close as possible that we can get it to the positive side of the battery. So this one is just here, so it's an inline fuse holder. It has a cover, a dust cover. It's a matter of pulling the cover off and checking the fuse. So making sure the fuse is not blown, or it might not be blown and it might have grime or water or moisture in it from over time. So you pull it out, then you just check it, make sure it's not blown in the center of the fuse, make sure it is clean, and then replace it, and then check the system. That can happen as well, which is quite common. Just over time, you know, the rain and moisture and driving down the road, and especially during winter, can get into the fuse and damage it or corrode it up. So check that as well. Okay, so to turn the system off, been running now at a lower speed, so now I've turned it back up to high. So we recommend that you run it out high for at least 5 minutes when you go to shut it down, because it will burn the carbon out of the system, out of the heater. So then you'll get a longer service life, that you won't have to service the heater. So to turn it off now, because it has been running for 5 minutes, you can either press the on and off button on here. Also, these 5 kilowatt systems come with a remote, so you can actually turn it on and off, or up and down also with the remote, or you can obviously do it on the screen. So now I've turned it off with the remote. So now the unit is turned off, but now it will do its self cool down period. So you've got to let the system go now. It can be, depending on how hot or how long it has been running for then how long it will run. So it could be a minute, it could be up to 5 or 6 minutes. Now the actual system will still run and cool the chamber down. So what's doing is it's off, cooling the chamber down in the actual diesel heater itself. Once it is the actual unit has cooled down, then the fan and everything will completely go off. The screen will then drop out. Once it has done its cool down period, then if you want, you can turn the kill switch off until you need to use it next time. So that is how to use your diesel heater, and if you do have some problems, how to start fault finding your system. I hope that has helped you out. Alternatively, if you do have further problems or other problems, obviously you can contact us, heaters that we have installed, and we can help you through over the phone as well.